Hi everyone, it's Michael. I am doing the video on the FAB5 fan set, finally. I've had these for a while, but I haven't had a video for it, and I know some of you have asked for it. So if you haven't heard me talk about it before, this is the FAB5 fan set, and it comes with an 11, a 9, a 7, a 5, and a 3. The numbers, just like on my curved rulers, indicate once you stitch it out, it's an 11-inch, it would make an 11-inch circle if you went all the way around. 9-inch circle, 7, 5, 3. Okay, so that's how it's numbered. Why did I make this? Well, if you don't know already, I have been obsessed with Baptist fans for a long time. And ever since I started quilting, I've wanted to do them in a way that I could be more accurate than what I've done in the past. So once I got my long arm, I bought everything you could think of. I got the slotted rulers, I got circles, I got half circles. Anyway, I've bought a lot of stuff, but nothing made them accurate for me. I kept getting off track. So I figured, well, why not design them? I designed my own rulers, might as well make a fan set. So here it is. This fan set will create Baptist fans, and it can also be used for curved crosshatching, like any other curved ruler with markings. It's out of the same green acrylic that all my other rulers are made of. So that makes it easy to read on light fabrics, easy to read on dark fabrics. No one has ever said that they're using this on a neon green fabric and have complained or anything, and I don't have any neon green. So I imagine neon green might be hard to see the line. So if you're using that, let me know how that goes. It might be good, I don't know. Okay, so seriously, let's go to how to use these. So you will notice that there is a 90-degree angle printed on the ruler, and by the way, all of the etching and printing is on the back. Okay, so it's correct to have that to the back. That helps with some of the traction. The only one that has the letters is the big one. Okay, but all of them have the numbers for the size. And what you'll have is the 90-degree angle, and then you're going to have 1/4-inch marks going up the center of this ruler, of the arc here. And then what you see to either side of the 90-degree are previous stitch lines that you will notice as you stitch this design out that they will align to. So these are reference lines for you, okay? And I'll show you how all that works. So when you buy the set, you get all 5, okay? And the instructions sheet, will tell you how to lay it out and what to do and all that kind of good stuff, or you can watch the video, okay. Anyway, here, I'm gonna get started, and what I'm gonna do is just draw out some of the design so that you'll see how to do it, and then when we get to the machine, you will have already done this part and kind of know what's going on, okay? Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna use these drawing discs. I think I've got some of these available. They're not listed on my website, but if you want some, email me. I use these in my classes. The small one is good for a Sharpie, a fine point, or a mechanical pencil, and then the bigger one, you can use any pen or pencil and go in there. If you haven't seen these before, you put your writing utensil in and you trace around your ruler or template, and this mimics the hopping foot and gives you a 1/4-inch away from it. So anyway, those, I call them drawing wheels or drawing discs, whatever you want to call them. So first thing, the way I'm going to do this, in the same way that I stitch it out also on the long arm, is I'm going to start in the bottom left corner with the smallest one. So I'm looking, this is the 3. Okay, so if you can see it here, I'm lining up this 90-degree angle. That's where I'm starting, okay? This goes down in the corner, and exactly what I'm looking at is the horizontal and the vertical line of the 90-degree angle. I'm putting it there. I am starting from the top I have to remind you that we go down, up, down, up, down. That's how we do this set. Down, up, down, up, down. So that means we start up, and I'm gonna put my needle down, and I'm gonna go down. When I get to the bottom, I am going to use whatever I need to use, a template or whatever. I'm traveling over about an inch. Okay, I'm just gonna guess. And then I'm gonna grab the 5. I'm gonna use the same horizontal and vertical lines. Might have to move my needle over a little bit. So I'm gonna match up that corner. Excuse me if my head gets in the way. And then I'm going up. Okay, wait, you can't see that because my hand's in the way. Okay, so I just went up. Now I'm bringing in the 7. So once I get here, I'm gonna have to use, I'm not left-handed. Okay, I'm gonna pretend like I traveled up about an inch. I'm putting in the 7, and I'm doing the same thing. This first one, your guides are vertical and horizontal line. Okay, so I'm going to stitch down. Okay, stitch down, I'm gonna travel over about an inch. Sorry. I'm gonna put in my 9. Go up. Travel up. Sorry, my hand's in the way from this angle. So I traveled up. Put in my last one, which is the 11. And it looks like I would have to travel, see the wheel moving. Here's my 11, and then I'm gonna go down. Okay, so we just made our first fan. This is a little messy. I'm gonna switch to a pen. So we just made our first fan. So let's say I stopped here. Here's where you need to remember. Remember I said we go down, up, down, up, down? I do this all the time, and you might too when you start. Your tendency is gonna wanna go travel over here. Don't do that. Travel up what you just stitched. That's where you need to be when you start your next fan. Back up on that last one. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my 3. This time, what I'm doing is I'm lining up the point at the right angle, the point with the last place that I stitched, right here, and one line. The one line I'm lining up is the horizontal line. I'm no longer looking at the vertical line. However, I am looking at the dot, 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 that dashed line, because that's my previous stitching line, which will match up here. So here I go. I've got the point matched, I've got the horizontal line matched, and I see the dot, 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 and I'm gonna stitch down. Now I'm gonna travel over about an inch. I'm gonna go to the 5. I'm gonna travel over a little bit more. I'm going to line up the corner of the 90 degree. I'm lining up the horizontal line, and now you should be able to see the dashed line is on that previous stitching line. And we stitch up. Once we get here, we go up about an inch or so. This is just the same thing over and over. And then we bring in our 7, horizontal line matching, point of the 90 degree matching, previous stitching line matching, and we stitch down. And we travel over. And we go to the 9. Same thing, everybody. So once again, I'm matching up this corner of the 90 degree, I'm matching up the horizontal line, and I'm matching up the previous stitching line. I no longer have this vertical line. It doesn't match up to anything. Okay, so here we go, matching all my points and lines, and I'm stitching up. Once I get to the up, I'm traveling up a little bit, and I'm bringing in the 11. Same thing, horizontal line, point of the 90 degree angle, previous stitch line, and I stitch down. Remember what we do when we stitch down on the last one? We immediately go back up. Good. And so now we're ready for the 3 again. So basically we're doing that all the way across. That's your design right here. So when we get to the next row, so I'm going left to right and I'm going from bottom to top. When we get to the next row, I'm using the 3 and I'm using, so think about it when you go across, here you go. When we go across, you're using the horizontal line and the previous stitching line. Once you get past the first one, correct? Remember your first one, you're using the right angle because that's a corner. But starting on your second one and moving all the way across, you're using the horizontal line because you're going across, and you're using the previous stitch line because that's what you have as a reference. You don't have this. However, when you go up, as you go up, so your next row, you are using this vertical line and you're not using the horizontal because you're going up now on the side, but you're gonna have this previous stitch line from before. So I'm gonna lay down my 3 and I'm putting the corner of the 90-degree angle and the vertical line together, and I should see a little dashed dot, dot, dot from before. And remember, we always go down, up, down, up, down. So I'm going down, I'm traveling over approximately where I think I need to be. I'm bringing in the 5. When I bring in the 5, remember, I'm matching up the vertical line and I'm matching up the point of the 90-degree and I'm matching up the previous stitch line. Here we go. And we go up and then we travel up. Bringing in the 7. Same thing, everybody. The vertical line, the point of the 90-degree and the previous stitch, and I stitch down. When I get here, I travel over wherever I think about it's gonna be. Bring in the 9, vertical line, previous stitch line, and look at this, I have this line and I have this line. So now I'm starting to get more reference points, and that's why I call this accurate Baptist fans, because you don't get off, like I would sort of veer off and be out of whack. So this is more precise. I travel up, and then I bring in my 11, matching up the vertical, the point, and the previous stitching lines that are etched on the back. And I travel down. Now, what do we do when we travel down when we finish? Because trust me, you'll do it. I know you will, because I have a million times. As soon as you finish the last one, you go back up, because you have to go down, up, down, up, down when you're going in this direction. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this next one so you see where it goes. This one, you no longer have a vertical and a horizontal line to guide you, but you have previous stitching lines. So starting here, both are previous stitching lines, and then you have the point of the 90-degree angle. I'm gonna call that an apex, but that's probably the wrong term, but I'll just call it anyway. So, so I see the apex. If that's wrong, you know, someone go ahead and tell me it's wrong. And then I have my previous stitching lines. And remember, we go down first. So just go down until you touch the previous arc, travel over, bring in your 3, bring in your 5. Apex, I don't know if that's the right word still, is going there, and then I'm matching up my previous stitching lines, both from this arc and this arc. Okay, I'm going up, traveling up. Here's the 7. I know you guys are probably bored and want to start sewing, like I do, but I'm gonna finish this anyway. So I go down with the 7, travel down, bringing in the 9. Previous stitching lines, that's what I'm matching up, plus the point of the 90-degree, the corner, or the apex. Okay, and then I'm going up with the 9, and then up here, and then I'm on my last one, I'm on my 11. Again, previous stitching lines. I don't know how my angle is, because you guys have a different view than I do. You're right above, and you might be more accurate. And then my point, and I stitch down. Okay, so that's a long way to stitch down, but that's okay, and that's what it's made for. This is a complete half circle, but you know, like it says in the instructions, you don't start with it like this, and it's because of things like that. You know, if you designed it like this, which some of these rulers are designed like this, and they make you have to pivot. And that's what I don't want to do, because you lose this. That's why it's still a half circle, but this becomes so important. And in the instructions, I make it so clear right here where I say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. This is correct. Or this is correct if you go from top to bottom or up and down, whatever. So pay attention to that. All right, so basically you do this and you go across the whole quilt, and that's it, and it's gonna be beautiful. Okay, so that's how you use the fans, and you'll see me sew them out in just a minute. I'm gonna start down here from bottom left. I'm gonna go left to right, and I'm gonna go from bottom to top. Okay, as I told you before, you could go from top to bottom. You could go from any direction you want, but basically I'm gonna start from bottom left. I'll show you why as we get there. So the first thing to remember is you want to be able to read the number. All the etching is on the back, and that helps to grip. You want to read the number, and we're looking for the right angle. And that's going to go in the corner of our work at the bottom, that corner. So I'm lining up the right angle, vertical and horizontal. The first thing that we're going to do when we do this is we're going to stitch down. So remember, going left to right, we're going to go down, up, down, up, down. So that means you have to start up here. And basically you're going to put your template at the corner and line up your hopping foot where it's supposed to go, which is right there. And now I'm going to take a stitch and lock. Well, I'm going to bring up my bobbin thread. I'm going to lock my stitches however you want to lock them. And remember, the first thing I've got my ruler base on. Don't forget that ruler base is on under here. First thing that we're going to do, remember, is go down. Okay, when we get here, we're getting ready to use the 5, but we're going to have to travel over. So I usually grab my next template, and I use my template to push myself over. We're going over about 1 inch. And then from here, basically you just want to go over far enough to where you can get your new corner to line up in your corner. So you're always lining up on your first one. You're always lining up the horizontal and the vertical line. Okay, here we go. So going up. Okay, next is our 7. So we're gonna have to travel up about 1 inch. Here we go. So I'm lining up, once again, I'm lining up my corner in the corner, vertical and horizontal, and we're going down. Okay, I touched. Next is gonna be the 9. So I'm gonna use that template to help push myself over and stay on my line. Once again, I am matching up my vertical and horizontal, the 90-degree angle at the corner, the bottom left of the quilt, and up we go. Okay, next is the 11, which is the last one. So travel up, guesstimate, and once again, put your angle on the corner. That's what we're matching up, and we'll travel on. I walk my fingers as I need it. This is the same as using any other ruler. Remember how far you can go, and be careful of not hitting your rulers. Okay, so we've done our first one. Next is gonna be the 3. The thing about this is, do you remember when I said we have to go down first? That means as soon as you finish your last one, you're gonna travel back up and kind of guesstimate how much you need to go. Now I'm gonna put my 3 down. I need to go up a little bit more. Okay, so now I don't, the line that I have now is this horizontal line, but now see these 3 dots? That's my previous stitching line. So this corner right here, I'm putting this corner, it needs to be at the corner of where you last stitched. The straight line goes with your edge, and then the dot, dot, dot is from your previous stitch. Okay, so I'm matching all of that up. And I will say, this 3 is really small, so be careful. Be careful not to run over it. Take your time. Okay, so we went down, going to the 5. I'm gonna use the 5 to travel over about 1 inch, a little bit more. Okay, and remember, on this one, I'm lining up this horizontal line, and I'm using this previous stitching, dot, 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 dot. Okay, so that goes in the corner of where we started this set. We started this set right there. Okay, I can see, there's my stitching line. There's my other line. Here we go. I'm going up. Okay, now I'm going to switch to the 7. We need to travel up. So carefully go over your stitching lines there. And again, I'm putting the corner, if you can see it from this side, the corner and the horizontal line match, and then my previous stitching line. I'm not sure what camera's getting this very well, but we'll hopefully one of them. Okay, now when you do this, you know, be careful. If you put all of your pressure on the template itself, I'm falling off of my ruler base. So remember basics of ruler work and keep your tension, your pressure up here while your hopping foot is up here. I mean, line everything up, but by all means, don't be pressing down on this part of the template. Just give light pressure up here towards the top. Here we go. And we've gone down. Okay, this is easy. Okay, and we're gonna move over about 1 inch. This is the 9. Okay, so I'm matching this corner, the spot. That's our spot where we always start, and we're making sure that our previous stitching line is underneath there. And here we go. Time for 11. Let's see here, same thing. Nothing is different. We're just matching lines. Oops. Ooh, I almost hopped right over that. Did you see that, everybody? Why? It's because, look, did you notice I have my pressure down here? Do as I say, not as I do. Almost had some trouble there. Okay, so take it slow. Walk your fingers down. There we go. That would have been fun, huh? Okay, next. So you see how it would go. The next thing I would do is put my 3 down. What I want to show you is what to do when we get to the next row. Okay, so to start the next row, you're going to start at the top. You're going to do the same thing we did before, except now your line, you're going to have your vertical line, and then you're going to have your dot, dot, dot from the previous stitching. So you put the corner of the 90-degree angle right at the corner of where that top fan is. Okay. Remember, we always go down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Here we go. And again, be careful with the small one. There's not much there to hold on to. Okay, so we're traveling over. I've got the 5 here. You will get an eye for this, how far to travel over. And remember, we're lining up the vertical and then the point and the previous stitching. Here we go. Seven. Previous stitching, vertical and point. There we go. And the 9. Again, I've got my point, vertical line, and now I've got this stitching line and that stitching line. Okay, so I'm trying to line all of those things up. And then our 11. Okay, still got multiple stitching lines to use as a reference and our point, and we're going down. Okay, so we finished our first one on our second row. Now remember, we go down, up, down, up, down. So it's really easy for you to think you're going to travel over this way first, but that's not correct. We need to go back up first, travel over those lines. I tried to do it freehand. Look, it's a little sloppy. Sorry about that. I'll take it up a little bit more. Okay, so now what I'm looking for is curved lines plus the point. So I want both of my stitching lines plus the point. I no longer have a vertical and horizontal. I just have the point and previous stitching. Okay, so there we go. Down and switch to our 7. Guesstimate. Okay, so again, I'm looking at the corner and then I'm looking at the previous stitching lines. That's what I have to go by. Sorry, this is our 5. Okay, now our 7. Just do the best to stay as close as you can on those lines when you travel over them. So again, I'm most concerned about the point and then all of my previous stitching lines. And I've got this arc and this arc here. Okay. Take it nice and slow. Okay, here's the 9. Okay, so previous stitch, corner, and get them the best you can. I went a little far. There we go. Okay, now our last one. So you can see how even though it's a half circle, we use all of it, even though this is the basic fan part here, because these get quite wide as we move up towards the bigger sizes and can do a complete fan pattern. Okay, so previous stitch. Can you see the previous stitch, corner? Okay, here we go. Walking my fingers. I'm not flying through this. I'm going pretty slow. And you can see I've already made some mistakes that you were with me on, but still it's starting to look really great, I think. I'm just gonna start this last one with you. And remember, what do you remember here? Hopefully you'll remember, because I forgot for a long time. I don't go this way first. I have to go up first because the pattern is down, up, down, up, down. All right, so I'm just grabbing any template. So I'm going up first. Actually, I'm not using the template. I'm just freehanding. Okay, there's our 3. And again, previous stitching lines. That's what I'm looking for. Those and the point of that 90-degree angle, the corner. Okay, travel. Here's my 5 previous stitching lines, corner, good. Seven. Previous stitch, corner. Oops. Okay, it's not exactly perfect, but close enough for me. Put our 9 in. Oops. Cut off a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm finishing this one. There we go. So I did make a few bobbles. I realized that. But for the most part, I'm happy with this. And you can see how easy it is. Once you get a rhythm down and you go a little faster, maybe than I was going, you know, it creates a beautiful texture, and I think it's just so easy with these templates to do it. You know, if I don't have a computerized machine, if I did, I would certainly go ahead and have a computer stitch this out. But this has been the most successful that I have done with doing all of this freehand, and I'm quite happy with it. You could do a whole quilt, and I mean, you could definitely get it done in a day, in several hours. So anyway, that's the FAB5 fans, and you can get those on my website. Okay, hope you're having a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye-bye.